Hello everybody, happy December 8th. Tonight we are going to be switching things up, thankfully, in my opinion, to something a little bit different. We're going to be going, not another bourbon, we've had a lot of those so far, not another rye. We're finally going to be getting back to a Scotch, and it's a foundational Scotch, a really good one to branch out from if you want to talk about or taste different sorts of Scotches. We are talking today about, open this sucker up, the Glenmorangie 10. You can find this at most stores. It's a little over 30 bucks, I think, at most places, maybe even like up to 40, but really, you probably shouldn't buy it unless you can get it for like 35 or under. What I really like about this Scotch is it's 10 years old, and it's really a good kind of baseline for Scotch in general. It's a Highland. It doesn't have like too much sweetness, too much spiciness. There's not a lot of like brininess, and I don't believe it's peated at all. Like, it's a really good base. Basic is insulting, but really it's a good foundational Scotch. Glenmorangie recognizes that because they take this Scotch as their base for pretty much every other Scotch that they make. So they'll take this 10-year-old and then they'll finish it for an extra couple of years or 4 years or 6 years or whatever in different types of casks to change this into something else. While this is a great Scotch on its own, it's even better when you can use it to see what a Scotch will normally taste like and then see what, say, 2 years in a sherry cask will taste like to make the Glenmorangie La Santa, or 4 years in a port cask will taste like to make the Glenmorangie Quinta Reuben. And they've got plenty of others as well. I think most recently they have like a cognac cask out, cognac cask finish, and they have just before that a Malaga cask finish. They've got all sorts of stuff from different ages, but this is a really good foundational one to try and to compare things to. So let's open it up and give it a taste. Oh, beautiful. Oh my God. Oh, did it. 43% ABV, which is about what you should expect to be thankful for from most Scotches. Like, a lot of them stick with 40%. If they can get to 43, that's great. So we have a 43% 10-year-old Highland Scotch in Glenmorangie right here. Let's give it a twirl and give it a smell, give it a taste. So it smells like watery caramel to me up front. Very malty. So there's not a whole, I don't think this is finished in anything. Like I was saying at first, I don't think there's any sherry influence here or any other kind of like wine cask or other liquor cask other than potentially ex-bourbon. That's giving it a bit of a vanilla caramely nose. But they might even be second fill, meaning that Glenmorangie might have bought these barrels, filled them with one, emptied them, and then filled them with another, set of spirit the second time around, and then that might be what we're drinking now. Let's give this guy a taste. Clean, straightforward, malty flavor. Like, I almost regret having the monkey shoulder first now, just because this is just so much more, maybe not so much more, but I think it's a better representation of like a core, bare, single malt Scotch. And it's very good, especially like bang for the buck. Like, 30-40 bucks for a bottle like this. I think this is just a great Scotch. If you're looking for a good sipping Scotch, like something that doesn't have like a really potent flavor profile, like toward spicy or sweet or peated, you know, smoky or something like that. If you just want like a malty Scotch, it's really hard to beat the Glenmorangie 10. And I think when you combine that with the fact that you can use this to then compare to other Scotches in its core range that are just finished for additional time at different types of barrels, I think this is not only a great Scotch to start with to get an idea of what Scotch should taste like. A good Scotch that's just kind of bare bones. You know, that sounds derogatory, but I don't mean it that way. But it also gives you a good reference point, especially when you're comparing it to other Scotches in Glenmorangie's line, as to what different types of finishing and different aging can do to a Scotch, can do to this base malt, you know, when you play around with it. So I think this is a great one to have on its own, especially for the price. If you want a single malt and you just want to have a Scotch on your shelf for something that you can, you know, break out for people when they feel like Scotch, I don't think anyone's going to scoff at this. I think it's actually pretty tasty. And if you know, on your own, you just want to kind of explore what can be done with Scotch, I think this is a great way to start, and a great thing to compare to different types of finished Scotches, and different aging. So I really like it. Hope you do too. Cheers.